The morning started like any other day on Earth. People went to work, children went to school, and life continued as it always had. Nobody knew that everything was about to change forever. Commander Jiwoo sat in her chair on the orbital defense platform called Sejong. She was drinking her morning coffee and looking at the stars through the large window. Jiwoo was 42 years old and had spent most of her life protecting Earth from space. She was a strong woman with sharp eyes that missed nothing. Suddenly, all the alarms started ringing. Red lights flashed everywhere. Jiwoo jumped from her chair and ran to the control room. Her team was already there, staring at their screens with wide eyes. "Commander, we have contacts," said her officer. "Hundreds of them. They just appeared out of nowhere." Jiwoo looked at the main screen. Her blood ran cold. Massive ships filled the space around Earth. They were bigger than anything humans had ever built. The ships were dark and covered with strange markings that glowed with an evil red light. "Send a message to Earth Command," Jiwoo ordered. "Tell them we have visitors, and they don't look friendly." On the moon, Dr. Taeyang was working in his laboratory. He was a thin man with glasses who loved science more than anything else. For years, he had been studying gravity and how to control it. Most people thought his ideas were impossible, but Taeyang never stopped trying. When the alarm sounded, Taeyang looked up from his work. His assistant ran into the room, her face pale with fear. "Doctor, you need to see this," she said. Turning on the video screen, Taeyang watched as the alien ships appeared on the screen. His scientific mind immediately started working. He could see the energy patterns around the ships. They were using technology that humans had only dreamed about. Back on Earth, Ambassador Minho was preparing for what he hoped would be peaceful first contact. He was an older man who had spent his whole life bringing people together. He believed that any intelligent species could find common ground. "We must try to talk with them," Minho said to the world leaders on his screen. "Violence should always be the last choice." The leaders agreed. They loaded Minho's shuttle with gifts and messages of peace. Cameras from around the world watched as his small ship flew toward the alien fleet. On Mars, Sergeant Hana was training with her squad. She was 28 years old and one of the best soldiers Earth had ever trained. Hana was fast, strong, and feared nothing. Her squad loved her because she always protected them. "Sergeant, we just got word," her captain said. "Alien ships appeared near Earth. They want you and your team ready for anything." Hana nodded and gathered her weapons. She had a bad feeling about this. Captain Dae-jung was the best pilot on the Sejong platform. He was 31 years old with quick reflexes and a confident smile. Other pilots said he could feel what his ship was thinking. "All fighters, get ready to launch." Jiwoo's voice came through his radio. "Stay close to the platform and wait for orders." Dae-jung climbed into his fighter and started the engines. Through his window, he could see Ambassador Minho's shuttle approaching the alien ships. Everyone held their breath as Minho's shuttle got closer to the nearest alien ship. The ambassador sent messages in every language humans knew. He showed pictures of Earth and its people. He offered friendship and peace. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien ship's weapons glowed with bright red light. "No!" Jiwoo shouted, but it was too late. A beam of pure energy hit Minho's shuttle. The small ship exploded into a ball of fire. The ambassador and everyone with him died instantly. The world watched in horror. Then the alien fleet opened fire on everything around Earth. Defense satellites exploded. Space stations burned. Millions of people died in seconds. "All fighters launch. Launch now!" Jiwoo screamed into her radio. Dae-jung and his squadron shot out of the Sejong platform. They flew straight at the alien ships, firing their weapons. But the alien shields were too strong. Human weapons barely scratched them. "They're everywhere," one pilot shouted. "I can't get a clear shot." Dae-jung watched as 3 defense platforms exploded, killing thousands of people. His hands tightened on the controls. These aliens had come to destroy Earth, and they didn't care about peace or mercy. Down on Earth, cities began to burn. The aliens dropped bombs that destroyed entire neighborhoods in seconds. People ran screaming through the streets. Parents grabbed their children and looked for somewhere safe, but there was nowhere to hide. Dr. Taeyang watched the destruction from the moon. His hands shook as he saw millions of lives end, but his mind was already working. He had seen the alien weapons. He had seen their shields, and he thought he understood how they worked. "We can fight them," Taeyang whispered to himself. "We just need time." On Mars, Hana and her squad saw the alien ships coming. They landed near the human colony and opened their doors. Alien soldiers came out, huge creatures in black armor carrying weapons that shot lightning. "Hold the line," Hana shouted to her squad. "Protect the civilians." The battle was brutal. The aliens were strong and their weapons were powerful. But Hana and her soldiers fought with everything they had. They used the tight corridors of the Mars colony to their advantage. They set traps and ambushes. They made every alien pay for every step forward. After hours of fighting, the aliens retreated to their ships. They had not expected humans to fight so hard. Hana stood among her wounded soldiers, breathing hard. They had won this small battle, but she knew the war had just begun. In space, Daijung's squadron was nearly destroyed. Only 5 fighters were left out of 30. They retreated back to the Sejong platform, but Daijung saw something that made his heart sink. The largest alien ship was moving toward them. "Commander, we need to evacuate the platform," Daijung said into his radio. "No," Jiwoo replied. Her voice was calm but firm. "If we run now, Earth has no defense at all. We stay and fight." That night, a message played on every screen on Earth. An alien face appeared, ugly and cruel. This was High Commander Vrath, leader of the Vrak invasion fleet. "Humans," Vrath said in perfect English. "You are weak. You are primitive. Your weapons cannot hurt us. You have 72 hours to surrender. If you do not, we will destroy your entire planet. No one will remember that you ever existed." The message ended. Around the world, people looked at each other in fear. Many wanted to give up. What chance did Earth have against such power? But Jiwoo stood on her damaged platform and looked at Earth below. She thought about Ambassador Minho, who had died trying to make peace. She thought about all the people who had already lost their lives. She thought about what it meant to be human. "Send a message to Earth Command," Jiwoo said to her communications officer. "Tell them I have a plan. It's dangerous and many of us will die. But we can buy time for our scientists to find a way to fight back. Tell them we do not surrender. We never surrender." The vote was close, but Earth's leaders agreed. They would fight. They would show these aliens that humans were not weak. They would defend their home no matter the cost. The war for Earth's survival had begun, and nothing would ever be the same again. 3 months had passed since the aliens arrived. The world looked very different now. The Vrak controlled the skies and most of the big cities. Millions of humans had died, but the ones who survived learned to fight back in new ways. Commander Jiwoo now worked from a secret base deep inside a mountain in Korea. The base was cold and dark, lit only by computer screens. She had not seen the sun in weeks. Every day brought news of more losses, more people dead, more cities burning. "Commander, we lost contact with the Tokyo resistance," her officer reported. The Vrak found their hideout. Jiwoo closed her eyes for a moment. Tokyo was the 5th group they had lost this week. But she could not give up. Every day humans survived was another day to find a way to win. "Contact the other cells," Jiwoo said. "Tell them to move to backup locations. The Vrak are getting better at finding us." Far away in Antarctica, Dr. Tae Yang worked in a laboratory hidden under the ice. His team had captured pieces of destroyed Vrak ships. Now they studied the alien technology day and night. "Doctor, look at this," his assistant said, pointing at her screen. "The Vrak shields have a pattern. They reset every few seconds. If we could hit them during that moment, our weapons might work." Tae Yang studied the data. His tired eyes suddenly became bright with excitement. "You're right. We can exploit this. Start working on new weapons immediately." For the first time in months, Tae Yang felt hope. Humans could learn. They could adapt. They could find ways to hurt these aliens. In what used to be Thailand, Sergeant Hana led her soldiers through the ruins of Bangkok. She was now a major, but she still fought on the front lines. Her squad had become famous among the resistance. The Vrak called her the Ghost because she appeared from nowhere, struck hard and disappeared before they could respond. "Major, Vrak patrol ahead," one of her soldiers whispered. 6 of them with a supply truck. Hana studied the patrol through her scope. The Vrak were big and strong, but they were also predictable. They thought humans were too weak to be a real threat. "We need those supplies," Hana said. "Set up the ambush. Remember, aim for the weak spots in their armor." Her squad moved into position. When the Vrak patrol passed, the humans attacked. Bullets hit the joints in the alien armor. Explosives destroyed their truck. The battle lasted only 3 minutes. All 6 Vrak were dead, and the humans captured valuable weapons and supplies. But as they celebrated, 1 Vrak was still alive. Hana approached carefully. The alien's armor was broken and green blood leaked from its wounds. "Why do you fight?" the Vrak asked in broken English. "You cannot win." Hana looked down at the dying creature. "Because this is our home. We will never stop fighting for it." The Vrak made a sound that might have been a laugh. "High Commander Vrath was wrong about you. You are not weak. You are dangerous." Then the alien died. Hana stood there for a moment thinking about those words. The Vrak were starting to fear humans. That was good. Back at the hidden base, Captain Daijung was training new pilots. Since the destruction of the space stations, all fighting happened in Earth's atmosphere. Daijung had learned to use old civilian planes and turn them into weapons. "The Vrak ships are fast, but they're built for space combat," Daijung explained to his students. "In the atmosphere, we have advantages. We know the terrain. We can use clouds and mountains for cover. We can hit them and run before they can respond." One young pilot raised his hand. "Sir, how do we fight something that can destroy us with one shot?" Daejung smiled. "You don't let them get that shot. You move fast, stay low, and never be where they expect you. That's how humans fight when we're outmatched." At the base, Jiwoo received a message from a new contact. A young man named Youngsu had managed to hack into a Vrak communication system. He was only 19 years old, but he was a genius with computers. "Commander, you need to see this," Youngsu said over the video link. His eyes were red from lack of sleep. "The Vrak are not just attacking Earth. They're fighting on 12 different planets at the same time. Their forces are spread thin." Jiwoo leaned forward. "How thin?" "Very thin," Youngsu replied. "Every ship they lose here is one they can't replace easily. If we keep fighting, we can hurt them badly." This information changed everything. Jiwoo immediately called her top officers for a meeting. Dr. Taeyang joined from Antarctica and Hana connected from the field. "We have a chance," Jiwoo said. "The Vrak are not as strong as we thought." "Dr. Taeyang, how soon can you have those new weapons ready?" 2 weeks, Taeyang answered. "Maybe less if we work around the clock." "Make it 1 week," Jiwoo ordered. "Hana, I need you to capture more Vrak technology. We need every advantage we can get." "Consider it done, Commander," Hana replied with a fierce smile. Over the next few weeks, things began to change. Dr. Taeyang's new weapons worked. They could punch through Vrak shields during the brief moment they reset. Human fighters started winning battles. Hana's teams conducted successful raids all over the world. They destroyed Vrak supply lines and communication towers. They rescued human prisoners and learned more about the enemy. Youngsu continued to hack Vrak systems. He fed false information to their commanders and made them send troops to empty locations. The aliens started making mistakes. Then Jiwoo planned something big. She called it Operation Thunderstrike. On the same day at the same time, resistance fighters all over the world would attack Vrak positions in 15 major cities. "This will show them that we are organized," Jiwoo explained to her commanders. "We are not random groups of survivors. We are an army and we are fighting back." The day of Operation Thunderstrike arrived. All around the world, humans attacked at once. In New York, resistance fighters destroyed a Vrak command center. In London, they recaptured the old military base. In Tokyo, Mumbai, and São Paulo, humans drove the aliens out of key positions. The Vrak were shocked. They had not expected such coordination from the humans. High Commander Vrath watched the reports with growing anger. "These humans are more dangerous than I thought," Vrath said to his officers. "We will increase our attacks, show them the price of resistance." But something unexpected happened. A Vrak officer named Kelth watched the humans fight and felt something he had not felt in many years. He felt respect. Kelth had been a soldier for decades. He had conquered many planets. But he had never seen a species fight like this. The humans had inferior weapons and technology, but they never gave up. They learned from every battle. They adapted to every challenge. Kelth began to wonder if the Vrak were right to treat humans as worthless creatures. Maybe these humans deserved something different. Maybe they deserved respect. That night, Kelth made a dangerous decision. He secretly contacted the human resistance. He sent them information about Vrak patrol routes and weak points in their defenses. When Jiwoo received this information, she was suspicious at first. "This could be a trap," she said, but the information proved accurate. Using Kelth's data, human fighters destroyed an entire Vrak supply fleet. Hundreds of aliens died, and humans captured valuable technology. Jiwoo realized this alien officer was truly helping them. She sent a message back, "Why are you doing this?" Kelth's reply was simple, "Because you fight with honor." The Vrak have forgotten what honor means. Perhaps it is time for change. As the months passed, humans won more battles. They recaptured cities and freed prisoners. Dr. Tae Yang's team even built the first human ship with faster-than-light travel, using technology learned from the Vrak. Captain Dae Jung was chosen to pilot this new ship. It was called the Phoenix, named after the bird that rises from ashes. When Dae Jung took the Phoenix into space for the first time, every human watching felt a surge of hope. "We can reach the stars now," Dae Jung said over the radio. "The Vrak don't control space anymore. We do." The tide of the war was beginning to turn. Humans were no longer just surviving. They were fighting back and they were winning. 8 months after the invasion began, something incredible happened. Dr. Tae Yang and his team finished building the first human ship that could travel faster than light. They called it Phoenix 1. It was small, just a fighter, but it could do what only alien ships could do before. It could cross vast distances in seconds. Captain Dae Jung stood in the hangar looking at the new ship. It was beautiful, sleek and silver, with human and Vrak technology combined into something new, something better. "You sure this thing won't explode?" he asked Tai Yang with a small smile. Tai Yang adjusted his glasses. He looked tired. He had been working for months without rest. 90% sure, he said. "I'll take those odds," Dae Jung said. He climbed into the cockpit. The controls felt different from his old fighter, but his hands knew what to do. Flying was in his blood. The test flight was perfect. Phoenix 1 moved like a dream. It was faster and more agile than any Vrak fighter. Dae Jung laughed as he flew through space, dodging practice targets and pushing the ship to its limits. "This changes everything," he said over the radio. "We can fight them in space now. We can win." Commander Jiwoo watched the test from her command center. She allowed herself a moment of hope. For months they had been losing, slowly winning small battles but losing the war. Now they had a chance to change that. "How many more ships can we build?" she asked Tai Yang. "If we use every factory still working, we can make 50 ships in 3 months, maybe 100 in 6 months. "Start building," Jiwoo ordered. "We need as many as possible." At the same time, Young-soo made another important discovery. While hacking Vrak communications, he found messages between the Vrak and another alien species. They called themselves the Vrothian Coalition, and they hated the Vrak. The Vrothians had fought the Vrak decades ago and won. They had driven the Imperium away from their worlds. Young-soo sent this information to Jiwoo immediately. "Can we contact them?" Jiwoo asked. "I think so," Young-soo said. "I found their communication frequencies. I can send a message." "Do it. Tell them Earth needs allies." The message was sent. For days there was no response. Then finally the Vrothians replied. They had been watching Earth's fight against the Vrak. They were impressed by human courage and tactics. They would help. It would take them time to send ships, but they promised to come. Earth wasn't alone anymore. Meanwhile, Major Hana was planning the biggest operation of her career. The Vrak had a weapons facility hidden in the Amazon rainforest. According to Young-soo's intelligence, they were building something terrible there, some kind of super weapon designed specifically to kill humans. Hana gathered her best soldiers, 200 fighters armed with the new cryothermal weapons. Their mission was simple but dangerous. Get into the facility, destroy everything, get out alive. They attacked at night during a rainstorm. The jungle was thick and dark, perfect for hiding. Hana's team moved like ghosts through the trees. They reached the facility without being detected, but then the alarms went off. Someone had seen them. Suddenly the jungle lit up with weapons fire. The battle was fierce and bloody. Vrak soldiers poured out of the facility. Hana led her team forward, shooting and moving, never stopping. They fought their way inside. What they found horrified them. The Vrak were growing clone soldiers, thousands of them, specially designed to fight humans in close combat. Each one was bigger and stronger than a normal Vrak warrior. "Burn it all," Hana ordered. "Don't let a single one of these things survive." They set explosives throughout the facility. As they retreated, Vrak reinforcements arrived. Hana's team lost 60 soldiers in the escape, but they made it out. Behind them, the facility exploded in a massive fireball. The superweapon program was destroyed. When Hana reported back to Jiwoo, she was covered in dirt and blood. But she was alive, and she had succeeded. "You did well," Jiwoo told her. "Earth owes you." "We all do what we have to," Hana said quietly. She thought about the soldiers she had lost. Good people, friends. The cost of war was always high. Sub-Commander Kelth continued to send information to the humans. He knew he was betraying his own people, but he believed it was the right thing to do. The Vrak way of conquest was wrong. Species like humanity deserved a chance to prove themselves. But High Commander Vrath was suspicious. He noticed that humans seemed to know too much about Vrak movements. Someone was helping them. He ordered his security forces to investigate. They caught Kelth sending a message. Vrath was furious. He had Kelth brought before him in chains. Why? Vrath demanded. Why betray your own kind for these primitives? Kelth stood tall despite his chains. Because they fight with honor. Because they deserve to live. Because our way of endless conquest is wrong. You are a traitor, Vrath said coldly. You will be executed. Kelth had one last chance before they killed him. He sent a final message to Earth. Complete tactical data on the entire Vrak fleet. Ship positions, weapon capabilities, supply lines, everything. His last words in the message were, "Humans fight with honor. May you prevail." Commander Jiwoo received the message and felt tears in her eyes. An alien had died to help humanity. She would not let his sacrifice be wasted. Using Kelth's information, Jiwoo planned Operation Thunderstrike 2. This would be even bigger than the first one. The goal was to retake the moon. If they could recapture the lunar colonies, they would have a secure base for building more ships. The attack on the moon took 1 week. It was brutal. Thousands of human soldiers fought in the tunnels and domed cities. Daejung flew Phoenix 1 in support, destroying Vrak supply ships trying to reinforce the lunar garrison. The Vrak fought hard, but they couldn't hold. One by one, the lunar colonies fell back into human hands. When the last Vrak soldier retreated, a human flag was raised over the main colony dome. People on Earth watched and cheered. It was the first major territory they had taken back. It proved that humans could win. The war wasn't over, but the tide was turning. High Commander Vrath sat in his command ship and watched the reports. The situation was getting worse. He had lost the moon. He had lost thousands of soldiers. Earth was supposed to be easy, but these humans were the toughest enemy he had ever faced. He called his remaining officers together. "We need to end this war quickly," he said. "I am moving my command fortress to Mars orbit. From there, we will launch a final offensive. We will crush Earth's military once and for all." Young-Soo intercepted this message. He immediately told Jiwoo. "Vrath is moving to Mars," he said. "This is our chance. If we can kill him, the Vrak will lose their leader. Their command structure will collapse." Jiwoo studied the tactical data. It was risky. Incredibly risky. They would have to attack the Vrak command fortress itself. Many would die. But if they succeeded, they could win the war. She called a meeting with all the leaders. Major Hana was there. Captain Daejung, Dr. Taeyang, Young-Soo. These were the people who had kept humanity alive. "We're going to kill Vrath," Jiwoo said. "I'm calling this Operation Decapitation. We attack in 3 waves. Hana, you take a strike team to board the fortress. Daejung, you lead our fighters to stop Vrak reinforcements. I'll command the fleet action from our new battleship." "What about me?" Young-Soo asked. "You're going with Hana," Jiwoo said. "We need you to hack their systems from inside the fortress." Young-Soo looked nervous but determined. He was just a computer expert, not a soldier. But he would do whatever it took. "When do we attack?" Hana asked. 3 days, Jiwoo said. "We hit them with everything we have. This is our chance to end the war. If we fail, Earth is finished. If we succeed, we'll be heroes." She looked at each of them. "These brave people who had given everything for Earth, are you ready?" she asked. They all nodded. They were ready. Ready to risk everything. Ready to fight the most dangerous battle of the war. The countdown to Operation Decapitation began. Operation Decapitation was happening. All over Earth, human forces attacked Vrak positions at the same time. Cities that had been occupied for months suddenly erupted in battle. The Vrak were confused and overwhelmed. Commander Jiwoo watched from her command center as reports came in. New York was free. London was free. Tokyo, Mumbai, and Sao Paulo were all being liberated. The plan was working perfectly. "Keep the pressure on them," Jiwoo ordered. "Don't give them time to think." On Mars, High Commander Vrath received urgent messages from every planet in the Vrak Empire. Earth was attacking everywhere. His commanders were calling for help. Vrath's face turned dark with anger. "These humans dare to attack us," Vrath shouted. "Send reinforcements to every position. Crush them completely." But while Vrath was distracted with the Earth attacks, Major Hana's team was approaching the Mars station in stolen Vrak shuttles. There were 50 soldiers with her, the best fighters humanity had. Young-Soo was also with them, his computer equipment ready to hack the station's systems. "Remember the plan," Hana said to her team, "fast and silent until they detect us. Then we fight with everything we have." The shuttles docked with the station without any problems. The Vrak thought they were friendly ships. Hana's team moved into the corridors quietly, their weapons ready. They made it 3 levels deep before a Vrak guard noticed something wrong. The guard raised his weapon, but Hana was faster. Her shot hit him before he could fire. But the damage was done. Alarms started ringing throughout the station. "So much for silence," Hana said with a grim smile. "Everyone, move fast. We need to reach Vrath before they lock down the station." The battle through the station was brutal. Vrak soldiers appeared from every direction. The corridors were narrow, which helped the humans. They could use cover and set ambushes. But the Vrak had superior numbers and weapons. One by one, Hana's soldiers fell. Each death hurt her heart, but she could not stop. They had to keep moving forward. 30 soldiers became 20. 20 became 15. The survivors were wounded and tired, but they kept fighting. Young-Soo was hacking the station's computers while they fought. His fingers flew across his keyboard. "I'm in," he shouted. "I found something important. Vrath is planning to abandon the station and call for help from the main Vrak fleet. He knows he's losing." "Then we need to move faster," Hana replied, shooting 2 more Vrak guards. "Can you slow down his escape plans?" "Already done," Young-Soo said. "His ship won't work when he tries to use it." Finally, after what felt like hours of fighting, they reached Vrath's command center. The door was massive and heavily armored. It would take time to break through. "Set the charges," Hana ordered. "We're going in whether he likes it or not." Meanwhile, in space around Mars, Captain Dae-jung was leading the space battle. His squadron of human fighters faced the Vrak defense fleet. They were outnumbered 3-1, but Dae-jung had a plan. "Use the tactics we practiced," Dae-jung said to his pilots. "Hit and run. Don't give them a clear shot." The human fighters moved like a swarm of angry insects. They darted in, fired their weapons, and dodged away before the Vrak could respond. It was chaotic but effective. On the human battleship Indomitable, Dr. Tae-yang was preparing his secret weapon. It was a device that created gravity wells in space. Any ship caught in it would be trapped and unable to move. "Ready to fire," Tae-yang said to the ship's captain. The weapon activated. Invisible gravity fields appeared around 3 Vrak cruisers. The alien ships suddenly stopped moving, trapped in place. Dae-jung's fighters immediately attacked the helpless ships, destroying them quickly. "It works," Tae-yang shouted with joy. "We can trap them!" But then the Vrak deployed their reserve ship. It was a massive dreadnought, bigger than any ship the humans had. Its weapons could destroy a small moon. All the human pilots felt fear when they saw it. "That thing will destroy us all," one pilot said over the radio. Dae-jung looked at the dreadnought. His mind raced, searching for a solution. Then he saw it. The dreadnought's main reactor was exposed while it charged its weapons. If someone could hit that reactor, the whole ship would explode, but getting that close meant certain death. "This is Captain Dae-jung to all fighters," he said calmly. "Keep the smaller ships busy. I'm going after the dreadnought." "Sir, that's suicide," his wingman protested. "Maybe," Dae-jung replied, "but if I don't try, we all die anyway. Take care of yourselves." Dae-jung pushed his fighter to maximum speed. He flew straight at the dreadnought, dodging its defensive fire. Explosions filled the space around him, but his hands were steady on the controls. "Come on," he whispered to his ship. "Just a little closer." He fired all his missiles at once, aiming directly for the exposed reactor. Then at the last second, he ejected from his fighter. The ship continued forward and crashed into the dreadnought. The explosion was massive. The dreadnought's reactor went critical. The entire ship tore apart in a ball of fire. The explosion was so big that it damaged several other Vrak ships nearby. Dae-jung tumbled through space in his ejection pod, badly injured but alive. His wingman quickly retrieved him. Back on the Mars station, the explosives went off. The door to Vrath's command center blew open. Hana and her remaining soldiers rushed inside. Only 12 of them were left. High Commander Vrath stood waiting for them. He was huge, even bigger than normal Vrak. His armor was decorated with symbols of his victories. In his hands he held an energy blade that glowed with deadly power. "So humans have finally come to face me," Vrath said. His voice was deep and threatening. "I will enjoy killing you." "We'll see about that," Hana replied, raising her weapon. Vrath moved incredibly fast for his size. He struck down 3 of Hana's soldiers before they could even react. His blade cut through their armor like it was paper. Hana attacked with her captured Vrak blade. The 2 warriors fought, their weapons clashing. Sparks flew with each impact. Vrath was stronger, but Hana was faster and smarter. "You fight well for a human," Vrath said. "I offer you a warrior's death. Kneel now and I will make it quick and honorable." Hana laughed, though she was breathing hard. Humans don't kneel to anyone. She attacked again, this time using a move that Vrath did not expect. She dropped low and slashed at his legs. Her blade cut through a weak point in his armor. Vrath roared in pain and fell to one knee. Hana did not hesitate. She drove her blade through Vrath's chest. The High Commander looked at her with surprise in his eyes. "Impossible," Vrath gasped. "No human should be able to defeat me." "You underestimated us," Hana said. "That was your mistake." Vrath died. Young-Su immediately broadcast the moment across all Vrak communication channels. Every Vrak soldier saw their mighty commander fall to a human warrior. The effect was immediate. Vrak forces all over the Sol system began to panic. Their leader was dead. They had no orders. Some started surrendering. Others retreated to their ships and fled. Commander Jiwoo watched as the Vrak fled from Earth. Cities that had been occupied for months were suddenly free. People came out of hiding, crying with joy. "We won," Jiwoo whispered. "We actually won." But Young-Su found something troubling in the Vrak computers. He called Jiwoo immediately. "Commander, we have a problem," Young-Su said. "I found messages from the main Vrak fleet. They're coming here, and they're 10 times bigger than the force we just defeated." Jiwoo's joy turned to cold fear. "When will they arrive?" 6 months, Young-Su replied. The victory celebrations stopped. Yes, humanity had won this battle. They had defeated the invasion force, but the real war was just beginning. Earth had 6 months to prepare for the greatest battle it would ever face. 6 months. That's all the time Earth had to prepare for the biggest battle in human history. Every factory on the planet worked day and night building ships and weapons. Every person who could fight trained for war. Children learned to use weapons. Old people helped build defenses. The entire human race prepared for what might be their final stand. Commander Jiwoo, now promoted to Supreme Admiral, stood on the bridge of the new flagship Sejong Reborn. It was 3 times larger than the Indomitable and carried weapons that could destroy entire fleets. Dr. Tae Yang had outdone himself with the design, but even with all their new ships, humanity only had 500 warships. Intelligence reports said the coming Vrak fleet had 5,000 warships and 12 planet-killer weapons. The odds were terrible, but Earth had no choice except to fight. The one piece of good news came from space. The Vrothian coalition arrived with 200 ships of their own. Their commander, Admiral Tolkar, met with Jiwoo through a video link. "We have been watching your species," Tolkar said. His species looked like tall, thin beings with blue skin and 4 arms. "You have done what many thought impossible. You fought the Vrak and won. We are honored to fight beside you." "Thank you," Jiwoo said. "Earth will remember what you've done for us." Captain Daejong couldn't fly anymore. His injuries from the battle at Mars had left him with permanent damage to his spine. He walked with a limp now and couldn't handle the stress of combat flying. But he served as Jiwoo's chief tactical officer, planning battle strategies. "The Vrak will try to overwhelm us with numbers," he told the assembled fleet commanders. "We need to use our speed and the terrain of the solar system against them. Hit and run. Never let them pin us down." Major Hana commanded the ground defense forces. If any Vrak ships made it through the fleet, she would be ready with millions of soldiers prepared to defend Earth itself. She had learned from the last invasion. This time every city had defenses. Every person had a weapon. Earth would not fall easily. Dr. Tae Yang had one more trick up his sleeve. He had built a massive weapon hidden on the moon. It used quantum disruption technology to disable all ships in a large area, but it only worked at close range. And it would destroy itself when fired. It was a last resort weapon, a weapon of desperation. Young-Su now commanded an entire cyber warfare division, 500 hackers all working to break into Vrak systems. They would be humanity's secret weapon in the battle to come. The day finally came. Sensors detected the Vrak fleet arriving at the edge of the solar system. Everyone had known this moment would come, but seeing it happen was still terrifying. The screen showed thousands of red dots. Each one was a Vrak warship. The Vrak commander sent a message. His name was Grand Admiral Korvax. He was a legend among the Vrak, a warrior who had conquered hundreds of worlds over 300 years. Humans of Earth. His voice said, deep and cold, "You killed High Commander Vrath. For this you would normally be destroyed completely. But you have shown courage. I offer you one chance. Surrender now. Become part of the Vrak Imperium. You will be allowed to live as our servants." Admiral Jiwoo looked at the faces of her crew. They all knew what her answer would be. She opened a channel that broadcast to every ship in both fleets and to every person on Earth. Grand Admiral Korvax, this is Admiral Jiwoo of Earth. We are not your servants. We are not your slaves. We are free people, and we will die free. We fought your invasion force and won. We will fight you too. We are Earth. We do not yield. On Earth, in the cities and villages, people heard her words and cheered. Even knowing they might all die, they were proud. Humanity would go down fighting. The battle began at Neptune. The human and Vrothian fleets had set up their first defensive line there. They used the ice and rock of Neptune's rings as cover. When the Vrak fleet arrived, they attacked from hiding. The surprise attack destroyed 300 Vrak ships in the first minutes. But then the Vrak adapted. Grand Admiral Korvax was a brilliant commander. He reorganized his fleet and pushed forward, accepting losses to maintain momentum. The battle moved through the solar system, at Uranus, at Saturn, at Jupiter. Each planet became a battlefield. The human fleet fought with everything they had. Dr. Tae Yang's gravity weapons proved deadly. Young Su's hackers disrupted Vrak communications. The Vrothian ships fought bravely alongside humanity. But the Vrak just kept coming. For every ship destroyed, 2 more took its place. The human fleet was being worn down. Ship after ship was lost. Good people died by the thousands. Finally, the battle reached Earth orbit. The final defensive line. This was it. If they failed here, Earth would be destroyed. Grand Admiral Korvax's flagship, the Eternal Dominion, was the largest warship humanity had ever seen. It was heading straight for the Sejong Reborn. The 2 flagships fired at each other, massive weapons lighting up space. Korvax opened a direct communication channel to Jiwoo. She could see him on her screen. He was old even for a Vrak, with scars covering his face. A veteran of countless wars. "You fight well, Admiral," he said. "I respect this. But you cannot win. I have fought for 3 centuries. I have never lost. Surrender now and I will spare your planet." Jiwoo looked at her tactical displays. He was right. They couldn't win. The human fleet was down to 200 ships. The Vrak still had thousands. But she had one last option. The quantum disruption weapon on the moon. Dr. Tae Yang stood beside her. "If we use the weapon, it will disable every ship in the system, including ours. The Sejong Reborn is close enough to be affected. We'll be destroyed." "I know," Jiwoo said quietly. Captain Daejung realized what she was planning. "No, you can't. There has to be another way." "There isn't," Jiwoo said. She ordered evacuation pods launched. Most of her crew would escape, but she would stay. She was the admiral. The captain goes down with the ship, but then something unexpected happened. Grand Admiral Korvax saw the evacuation pods launching. His tactical officers reported detecting a massive energy buildup from the moon. He realized what Earth was planning. He had fought for 300 years. He had seen courage before, but never like this. These humans were willing to sacrifice everything. Their ships, their lives, just for a chance to hurt him. For the first time in his long life, Grand Admiral Korvax felt something he had rarely experienced. Respect. Deep, genuine respect. He opened the channel to Jiwoo again. "Stop," he said. "I withdraw my fleet." Jiwoo stared at the screen, not believing what she heard. "What?" "You have proven yourselves worthy," Korvax said. "By Vrak law, species that show honor and courage in battle can be recognized as equals. You have earned this recognition. I will return to the Imperium and report that humanity is to be left alone. No Vrak will attack Earth again." "Why?" Jiwoo asked. "Why spare us now?" "Because you remind me of what the Vrak once were," Korvax said. "Before we became conquerors, we were warriors. We fought for honor. You have shown me that spirit still exists in the universe. It would be wrong to destroy it." The Vrak fleet began to turn away. Slowly, Carefully, they withdrew from Earth orbit. Within hours, they had left the solar system completely. Humanity had won. Not through destroying the enemy, but through earning their respect. On Earth, people celebrated. They cried and laughed and held each other. The war was over. They had survived. 1 year later, Earth had rebuilt much of what was destroyed. The population was recovering. New cities rose from the ruins, and humanity looked to the stars with new confidence. Admiral Jiwoo commanded the Seoul Defense Coalition now, working with the Vrothian allies and other friendly species who had heard about Earth's victory. Humanity had a place in the galaxy now, a place earned through blood and courage. Major Hana ran the new military academy, training the next generation of Earth's defenders. She made sure they learned not just how to fight, but why they fought. For freedom, for each other, for the right to exist as free people. Dr. Tai Yang and his team were building new ships, not warships this time, but exploration vessels. Humanity was ready to explore the galaxy as equals, not conquerors. Captain Dai Jung became Earth's first ambassador to the Vrothian Coalition. He traveled between the stars, representing humanity and building friendships with other species. Young-Soo headed the intelligence service, monitoring space communications and keeping Earth safe from threats. The war had cost 2 billion lives. Every survivor carried scars. But they also carried pride. They had faced the impossible and won. They had proven that humanity deserved its place among the stars. Admiral Jiwoo stood on the rebuilt Sejong station one evening. Looking down at Earth, a young officer approached her. "Admiral, do you think they'll come back?" "The Vrak?" Jiwoo smiled. "Maybe someday. But if they do, we'll be ready. We're not the same species they attacked 2 years ago. We're stronger, united, and we've proven something important." "What's that, Admiral?" "That humans don't give up. Ever. No matter how bad things look, we keep fighting. We keep hoping. We keep building. That's what makes us human. And that's why we'll survive whatever comes next." She looked up at the stars. Somewhere out there were friends and enemies, wonders and dangers. The future was unknown and full of challenges, but Earth was ready. Humanity was ready. The ultimate battle had been won. Now it was time to build something even greater, a future among the stars.